I know I said that I was just gonna do a video earlier, and I did too, but I had found some interesting things online the other day that I meant to read. So it's just some statistics and some really interesting things about uh, suicide. And I'm just going to read what it says in the article because it's really interesting. Um, and it says every year 47,500 people die from suicide in the United States. Suicide is so common, in fact, that for people under the age of 35, it's the second leading cause of death. Younger adults are especially vulnerable. Over 1 in 10 American adults aged 18 to 25 report having experienced suicidal thoughts. But contrary to popular belief, suicide rarely happens immediately after the first time someone has a suicidal thought. More often, an individual is passively suicidal for a long period of time before they consider taking action. Now, at my age, I understand that because I've thought about it and I've tried it, and it has been since I think in my 20s, so it's been a long time. So suicide attempts don't happen in a vacuum. They're the result of suicidal thoughts called ideations, and we had talked about that, I believe, yesterday. And these suicidal ideations exist on a vast spectrum, from actively planning to commit suicide to passively daydreaming about one's own death. While passive suicidal ideations are often not taken seriously, they are a serious warning sign that should never be ignored. Now, I talked to my therapist about it, and he kind of just brushed it off and said, okay, that's what it is, but I did convince him or talk to him and tell him that it's just something that is. It's something I think about all the time, and I'm really not concerned about it. So I guess I convinced him of that because I have to convince myself of that. So it says, what does passively suicidal mean? Passive suicidal ideation is when someone thinks about or wishes for death without actually planning to end their own life. Passive suicidal ideation is distinctively different from active suicidal ideation. Active suicidal ideation is when you think about specific ways in which to end your life. Now, see, that's what I don't understand, is I asked him about what does passive suicidal ideation mean. And he said what I thought was, it's something you're always thinking about. Now here it says active suicidal ideation is when you think about specific ways in which to end your own life. So that's active suicidal ideation. So I'm learning from this too. Interesting. Put simply, active suicidal ideation involves a plan to harm yourself, whereas passive suicidal ideation does not come with any plan for suicide. Now, it wasn't suicide that I was thinking about, it was cutting. I've never thought about cutting. However, I have a tattoo. I have a few tattoos that I thought about taking a razor blade to because they upset me. They don't mean anything to me anymore. I just wanted them gone. Why don't I have them covered up? Because I don't have the fucking money for it. But anyway, whatever. Passive suicidal ideation is often a result of feelings of depression or anxiety. Many people who live with chronic mood disorders may become passively suicidal several times throughout their lives. Mine's every day, but there's nothing you can do about that. It is what it is. Your brain is a piece of shit sometimes. For some, passively suicidal thoughts are so common that they may not recognize it as an issue. Whereas I did, and I discussed it with him, and I just kind of got an answer. You're better just Googling shit sometimes. So I'm going to read the rest of this, and I didn't want to make a video tonight, but then I remembered that I had screenshot things that I wanted to talk about, and that was something that I wanted to talk about was passive suicidal ideation. And then this is a really long screenshot that it wouldn't let me go any further. While having passively suicidal thoughts doesn't put you at immediate risk of ending your own life, it still prevents a dangerous situation. Passively suicidal individuals are more likely to engage in reckless behaviors without regard for their own health or safety. They're also at risk for progressing to more active suicidal ideations. Which is true. My dog just snorted and scared the hell out of me. It does. It's like I'll drive real fast, or I will just do things that I could get hurt, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's like there was a time back years ago when I was going through my separation from my divorce that I so badly wanted to drive headfirst into a milk truck or a big truck, to just do it. But then I thought about the person behind the wheel, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about the driver. I couldn't do that to them. I know of a guy who that happened to. Somebody hit him head on and passed away, and he will no longer drive a big truck. And I guess I'm always thinking of other people, even though it sounds like maybe I think about myself. That's not it. It's just having a mental illness is always like they'd say, it's like having a monkey on your back. You can't get rid of the fucking thing. No matter how many pills you take, no matter how many doctors you see, no matter how many therapists you see, no matter how many people you talk to about it, it's like they went to school for it. Well, yippee-yay. That doesn't mean you understand my situation, because no two situations are alike. So I'm just really frustrated by the system, because usually you're just a number. Yeah, I have a therapist, and he's pretty great. But like most of them, they just sit there as you babble, and I'm good at that. And every so often, though, he'll ask me a question, or there'll be a question that I don't understand, and he has his big whiteboard, and he'll get that out, and then oh, not the board, because that means he's going to be drawing. He's not good at drawing. But no, he'll write words down, and he'll say, you see how this correlates with this, and this, goes with that, and that's what this means. And it does make sense, and it is helpful. But it's almost like in that 45 minutes to an hour that you get to be there, if you want to call it that, you learn this, you learn that, but the second you walk out that door, it's out of your mind. You want to have that cigarette, you want to go get in that vehicle and leave. Sure, you learn bits and pieces, but I don't retain it very well, so it doesn't sometimes make sense to me, and I just go about my days and do YouTube videos about how mental we are, and how fun it can be sometimes. No, the problem with people, and this is kind of switching gears a little bit, people, and I probably have said this before, people think because you have a mental illness that you're stupid, and I'm not stupid. I'm very smart, and I'm not saying that to put myself on a pedestal. That's not it. I just don't appreciate being thought as stupid. I can function, but only to a degree, and that's not necessarily mental. I have physical limitations. I found out I had problems with my back when I was born, and I was really pissed off about it because I've been seeing a chiropractor since I was 19, and I haven't gotten around to finding one down here because I had enough finding a psych doctor and a therapist and a family doctor, and I haven't found a dentist. I haven't found anybody for my glasses and my eyes. Optometrist. We found a vet, which was good because it had to be an exotic vet. And whenever I hear exotic vet, I think really naughty things. I don't care. When you get to a certain age, I told you, you just don't care. Life just is. For me, I'll be 53 in January, and I just feel like I've lived my life. Whatever goes beyond that, I always said I didn't want to live to be 60. I think my dad was 70. My lovely mother is still alive. I don't talk to her because she's so lovely. I don't talk to any of my family, not because I don't want to, but because they don't. I've written letters, I've done all that, so whatever. I did put a link or two, a video or two in, see, I'm starting to get tired already. It's only 10:30. About life and what it's like to be in a mental ward. And the one that she's just like, wow, I wasn't like that, but that's how it was. And another one, she said, it's like prison. And it is, it's just, you have no rights, you have no freedoms, you have nothing. That one, she's pretty out there. But, I wasn't that bad. All I did was walk the halls because it's just so fucking boring. They don't let you do anything. You get to watch TV, but you don't get to, that's just it. You don't get to pick the channel. They pick it for you. And it's like, oh, I don't want to watch this. They don't care. But it's not pleasant. She talked about taking a shower. Well, this shower that was there was a water-saving shower where you have to keep pushing the button, and what I didn't know is you have to push it quite a few times to get hot water. So I just thought it was a cold shower, so I just did take a shower. But you don't even get to play cards with anybody. You don't get to interact. You're not supposed to interact with anybody else there, except a nurse if you need to. And the thing is, they had like little boxes on the wall next to the table where we ate, And that might sound like paranoia, but it's not, because we would purposely say something about the nurses, and then we'd look into the nurses' station, and then all of a sudden they'd quick look up at us, and it's like, oh, so we know that they're listening. So, okay, I'm getting tired. I don't want to fall asleep again, because David thought that was freaking hilarious. I so much didn't. It's an accident. I get tired, and I forget to turn off my phone every damn time. So, you have a good evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And tomorrow, I think, is Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. Hump day. It's always the dumbest thing I ever heard, but it is what it is. So enjoy your evening. From where I'm at, it's supposed to get warm, and I'm gonna look forward to that and being outside. So take care of yourself, and I would say be safe, but that comes from the purge, and yeah, we aren't gonna talk about the purge. Good night.